will solve this today's LeetCode problem. This is number of students unable to eat lunch. So this is an easy problem today. So let's see what it is. So the school cafeteria is offering circular and square sandwich at lunch break. We have referred to by numbers 0 and 1 respectively. So for circular it is 0 and for square sandwich it is 1. All students stand in a queue. Each student either prefers a square or circular sandwiches. Like we stand in a queue in our schools, right? So the number of sandwiches in the cafeteria is equal to the number of students. Fine. The sandwiches are placed in a stack, and at each step, if the student at the front of the queue prefers the sandwiches on the top of the stack, they will take it or leave the queue. Okay, so if that student prefers the circular sandwich, it means it's 0, then it will take it and leave the queue. Otherwise it don't take that the current sandwich and move to the end of that queue, right? So I understood. So if you see this 1100, so the first children want the square sandwich, but he is at the top of the stack there is a circular sandwich, so he will not take and it will move to 1, right? Let's make it here. So he will not take and he will move to at the last. Right, so he will not take and he will move to the last. Now this 1 and 0 is again different, then it will not take and it will move to the last. Now this 0 and this both student and the sandwich student want the sandwich circular and circular sandwich is present, so both will be deleted. He will take and leave it. Now again there is a difference, so he will move to at the last. Now this both is same, so it will neglect both of them, so he will take it and leave it. Now again this 10, this is difference, then he will not take it and move it to the last. And now it is same, then he will remove it, and now it is same, then we will remove it. So we left only 0 students, right? So the first approach which came into my mind by seeing this example, that we can simply calculate the number of ones and zeros for this student, and for sandwiches number of the circular and the square sandwiches, and difference between them will be the answer. But one thing here, that order also matters here. Why? Let's see why orders matters. So let's suppose if the total number of, if there is no any circular sandwiches left, and but in sandwiches option there is one sandwich left, so if so no one will take that sandwich, so that will be the correct answer. If you see this example, we will see this example here, orders matching is compulsory, so we simply cannot count and return the difference between them. Let's see how it goes. So in this case here, this is 111, this both is square, we neglect it. This both is different, this one will move to 1 at last. This again, there is a difference, it again move to that last. Now this 0 in 0 is the same, we neglect it. This again is same, we again neglect it. Again difference, it will move to the last. Now if you see this, there is a circular sandwich, and in the students part no one wants circular sandwich here, so it doesn't matter how these students move here and there, they don't want this top of the stack sandwich, so these 3 students are unable to eat the sandwich, so the answer is 3. But if you see the previous, that we will count the number of 1 and 0 in a student and number of 1 and 0 in sandwich, and take difference between that, it will become 2 only. This is 4, this is 3 minus 1, this is 2, and this is 3, which is equals to 1, which is equals to 2. but answer list should be 3 because orders matches. At the top of the stacks only there is only circular sandwich, but here the three students want uh, square sandwich due to their order, right? So we need to follow the steps. So what we can do, simply you haven't must understood that we can use a queue here, right? So when you use queue, so for when you use queues, you need to also see that at which point there are no number of students. If there is no number of students wanting squared or circular sandwich, so that we can break that queue. Otherwise we get up and end into the loop, right? So for that, let's see how we will do that, right? So let's take it as a take it as a student. So sorry, take it as a student. This is student size, this is sandwiches dot size. Now I will take a queue here. What will I store in queue? I will store all the students, because I need to move the students at the end, right? So for that I need to take the students. I will insert students in my queue, and let's iterate in my queue. And also I need to maintain the count. Why? To break the loop, that whenever we get a top element as a circular and we don't have any students who want circular sandwich, right? So for that I need to also take a 0 count and a 1 count, right? So for that what I can do is, well, simply take this 1 minus it, and this one should be 1 plus it. This is for counting zeros, and this is for counting ones, right? So what we will check, okay, I need to also make a I need to also take a indices. Let's see, this is a node which is q dot front. So this is the first student, right? Now I need to see, okay, I need to also take an index for the sandwich part, right? So if you see, the sandwich is in a stack. So if you observed that stack is just like a vector, right? Stack is just like a vector. But we use the stack, we can always use vector instead of stack, right? So we will simply iterate in our sandwiches like this. If this node is, so this node is something like, if suppose this Saj is 0, right? It means this sandwich, top of the stack is sandwich is 0, and we don't have any student left who wants circular sandwich. It means what? That z should be, if z is equal to 0, then we will break it. This same is true for 1 also, right? This same is true for 1 also. If there is no any students who wants 1 which is in the top of the stack, then we need to break it, right? Otherwise, if this node is same as this top of the stack element, what we will do, we will simply increment it, right? And what we will do, we will increment it, plus we need to decrement the count of which is the node, like this is Saj. So let's see what I can do. 0 minus 1 minus Saj, 1 minus Saj. What I have done, if you observe, if this Saj is 0, then it will minus 0 point, but it will not affect this 1. But if it is 1, it will affect 1, but it is not affect 0. I think you have understood it. Otherwise I need to mark this as a if else condition, but I have just simply write this for simplicity. If this is 1, then it will not affect this 0 count, it will affect 1 count. If it is 0, then it will affect only 0 count. right? And else what I can do, I will simply push it in my I will push this node in my again queue to make it at the end. Okay, I forgot to pop out. So whether this condition fulfill or this condition fulfill, I need to pop out. So I will just pop for whenever this break condition not hit, I will pop this, because I need to also pop for there and also need to pop it and then push it. So it's better to pop it previously and just return what queue dot size. The number of students left in queue will be the answer. Let's run it. Okay, this is sandwiches. Let's run it. Why it is not responding? Queue dot front. Something is missing here. One extra count is present. Why? Oh, okay. So I need to decrement the count of sandwiches, which is the current, not after incrementing it, right? I was decrementing after incrementing this index. Okay, now it will be fine. Yeah, let's submit it. Yeah, we have passed this case, but what will be the space complexity and time complexity? The time complexity can be, in worst case, it will be O of n, because what can happen at, if this 0 is here and suppose there are only 1 and at the last part is 0, so we need to move all the 1 to the end part and for that 0, right? So that will take only O of n iteration for one case. After that, if there is no any cases, then it will take at the end as O of n or 2n, that will be time velocity will be O of n. So and of what will the time space complexity, that will be O of n for this q purposes, right? So that will be again O of n. So the space complexity will be O of n, of course, and the time will be also O of 1n, right? So can we more further optimize it? Let's think. If instead of this q, if I store again the count, then what can happen, right? Instead of this q, if I only try to include my 0th count, what can happen? Let's see. So if I start only using this vector sandwiches here, so whenever I came to this 0, I will decrement my 0th part or qth part, because at the end if I move q students at the last, it will again this one of the students will confirm come. If there is any students who want circular array, then it will confirm come that it will get neglected, right? So we don't need to maintain an order for this, right? Because suppose there is 1 0 element, one student who wants circular array, and if there is present a circular array, it means he will definitely come after reordering at the top position who, to get this circular sandwich if any student is present, right? So we don't need this. We can simply iterate in our sandwiches array and see if this sandwiches I is 0 and this 0th part is greater than 0, then I will simply z minus do set z minus minus, else okay, it is 0, then let's break it. Otherwise, if the same condition for 1, if this is 1 and this is 0, it's again break it. Otherwise what? Otherwise it will delete the sandwiches I which is present for this, right? Right. If there is any left sandwich, if there is any student who wants the current top of the stack sandwich, then we will simply neglect that. Otherwise we will break it. And what will the answer? That will be this 0 plus 1, because the number of students and number of sandwiches is equal. Then we can do this. Let's run this. Remove this. Let's submit it. Bingo, we have achieved this. What I have done is just an observation that if there is any sandwich which is present at top of the stack and any students want it will definitely come at the top of the queue, right? So we just need to count this 0 and 1, and if the sandwich is present, I will just decrement that, right? You can also use if statement that if sandwich is 0 then decrement 0, otherwise 1, but it I can write it like this. For simplicity you can just write like this also. The sandwiches I is 0, then this will be minus minus, else 1 minus minus. You can write like this also, right? This will work also fine. This is the same as the previous one. We can just write like this, right? This is the same as the previous one. So yeah, we have achieved this from O of n to O of 1 because we haven't taken any extra spaces. So thank you.